Well, welcome to Divine Hand for another soulful, insightful, spiritual message. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Collective. I pre-pulled some cards for our convenience. With that being said, let's get started. So the oracle card I pulled for this message was closure. Friendships evolve. Some paths must end. Okay. This is about connections that served its purpose already. All right. Some friendships that brought growth, lessons, or emotional understanding, but is no longer meant to remain the same. Okay, so the closure is the loss here. Okay, it's not a loss, it's a completion, right? You completed a cycle and you learn all that you can learn and you can no longer evolve there or with around that person. Okay, and so this is why it closed. Okay, so some paths end because it's not because it's a failure, but it's because some souls have outgrown the version of the journey. Okay, um and so holding on would just slow the evolution down. So you know mastering the art of detachment, I'm getting in my mind's eye, is a necessity. Okay, um letting go just honors what's real and allow space for what's next. Okay, is what I'm getting. Let's get in the tarot. Let's jump into the tarot. The first card I pulled was the High Priestess, and it's that intuition, right? And this is related to evolution, right? This is related to the closure. You're being like guided to trust your inner knowing and about friendships or connections that needed to end. Okay, it ran its course. Okay, whether it's in secret or unspoken dynamics, must come to the light, right? Anyone that was keeping secrets and doing things, all of that's going to come to the light once you evolve and you let go. Okay, um because that particular connection has ran its course. The next card we have is the Eight of Pentacles. And the Eight of Pentacles is like, collective, you have worked really hard on um, tapping in to yourself, tapping in, introspection. You have worked really hard on that. This is also can be about pentacles, something that you're building as well, okay, that you were guided to with the High Priestess to build, okay. And this is that mastery as well, self-mastery, okay. So this is suggesting personal growth through efforts, okay. In some friendships, it can indicate investing in understanding yourself and others. Okay, so every relationship or connection, you understand some things. That's the first thing I get out of relationships that I still deal with, and relationships or connections that I had to let go. I definitely look at myself first and what did I learn in that situation, right? I always look at, and this is why I'm not sad when I have to disconnect from certain people, okay? Because they gonna hinder. All I have in my mind these days is, especially when I'm just meeting people and they not, on my level, right? I have to disconnect from them because they're gonna slow my progress down, right? And in some cases, that's what they were sent in to do, okay? Um so, closure may, just come after a period of reflection and learning. And you have learned some things about some people, collective, okay? All right. The next card we have is the Hermit card, okay? And so this represents that solitude, introspection, like seeking that inner guidance to bring that inner peace, okay? And you have worked hard on it with the Eight of Pentacles. You worked hard on self mastery to obtain that inner peace, right? Peace of mind, um, just overall peace, okay? Inner peace, peace of mind, right? And this is directly related to evolving, this Hermit card, okay? Um, because you had to master yourself. You had to go within and then master yourself to even be able to go within, right? You had to go within to be able to self master yourself, right? In different levels of yourself, right? And align yourself with different things, okay? And so sometimes being withdrawn is necessary to see, the truth clearly and find closure, okay? So that's what you did regarding some type of connection, collective. Okay. Family, friends, short term lovers, long term lovers, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Even if it was like just a friendship, you know what I'm saying? Platonic, you didn't really go nowhere. There was a purpose for that too. Okay. Then we have the King of Pentacles upright. And so the King of Pentacles is all about being stable, okay? Being grounded, practical wisdom, okay? And so you may need to just create, what this is saying, right, is that you need to create stable, stability in your life, okay, by just letting go of relationships or situations that no longer serves your growth, okay. So the King of Pentacles is all about growth, okay, and collective, you can be in this energy, okay. Because as I tell you, we have the ability to shift energies, okay, as needed, all right, for our greater good, okay. Well, it'll all go in your favor. But also what I'm seeing is, someone that you had to walk away from. It could have been a King of Pentacles, or it could have been a Virgo, Taurus, or a Capricorn, okay. Because they stunted your growth in some type of way. They weren't evolving. They kept you in some type of loop. You know what I'm saying? And once you seen that, they didn't realize that you had did some self mastery, right? And you went within, and they definitely didn't realize that you was in a high priestess energy. Okay. So let's move on. Now, the next card we pulled was the Sun card in reverse, okay? So this person is not happy, okay? This person is very disappointed. They sad because they didn't realize, they may be starting, this may be a Virgo, they may be starting to like do some introspection, and what they see, they not happy with, okay? They're not happy with. And what I say, if you want to see the change, be the change, okay? So, this person is not happy with something, right? They're not happy with maybe that you walked away or something like that, collective, or that you had to close out the friendship or whatever you guys had together, okay? um so because they were creating delays, right? They were creating delays, whether consciously or unconsciously, okay, intentionally or unintentionally. This is what they were doing. And so this is why it was separated. This is why you guys had to separate. You had to close out a cycle with this person, okay, because they had you in some type of karmic loop. Then we have the Ace of Swords, and this is that clarity, that truth, that new understanding, okay? This is tied to the closure, right? This is a breakthrough or an honest recognition, right? That some connections must end to allow your evolution, okay? So the truth is that you had to let this person go, or this person had to let you go, because it stopped, it was stagnant, okay? And that's the worst place you can be sitting, is just still, okay? um I'm not going to say that's the worst place, because only time you should be sitting still is when you're trying to get some clarity, okay? And you already sat still now, you know what I'm saying? So as far as being this person bringing stagnancy to your life, okay, or keeping you in some type of karmic loop, yeah, this person had options, okay, choices, okay. um so this person imagine possibilities, or just holding on to what could be, instead of seeing the reality of the situation, okay. And letting go required the discernment as well, because this represents discernment. And then the last card we have is the Seven of Swords upright. So this person was being sneaky, right? Maybe betrayed you in some way, trying to get away with something. So some friendships or paths ended because of dishonesty, misalignment, or unspoken conflict, right? Recognizing this was a part of the evolution, all right, and they're heartbroken about that. We got the three